If you fire me, then I'll get you fired. When I was 22, I worked at a small auto shop under a newly hired supervisor. Let's call him C. At first glance, he looked like an ordinary guy. A neat shirt with rolled up sleeves, a short haircut, and a smirk that seemed to promise confidence. But it quickly became clear. Behind that smile lurked rudeness and disdain for those around him. From the very first day, he showed who was boss. He looked down on customers as if they owed him a favor just for stopping by. He greeted every question with irritation, sometimes being downright rude, and then rolling his eyes as if he were talking to flies rather than people. He humiliated workers right in front of customers while silently saying, "I'll clean up the mess. I'll show you how things work." A tense atmosphere began to form within the team. Those who had previously laughed and discussed life during smoke breaks now tried to remain silent. Any word could be grounds for nitpicking. At first, I tried to stay out of it, hoping this person was just a temporary misunderstanding. But I soon realized things would only get worse. The first serious blow he dealt me was when he simply delayed my salary. At the time, I didn't think much of it, thinking it was a paperwork error. But when my second paycheck didn't reach me either, I realized it wasn't a fluke. I went to his office where he was lazily twirling a pen and looking out the window. "They owe me 2 months' pay," I said calmly, trying not to show my irritation. "Oh, right," he drawled, without even turning his head. "You know, sometimes the money doesn't come right away. Just wait." There was a challenge in his voice. He wanted me to argue, to shout, to demand. He wanted to see my weakness, but I just nodded and left. I felt disgusted. I'd worked so hard, wasted my energy, and in the end, they'd simply made me look like a fool. From then on, I began to listen more closely to what was going on around me. That's when I first heard him bragging to one of the mechanics in the locker room about his schemes. He described how he could roll back mileage on cars, sell old parts as new, and forge registration documents. He spoke of this with such pride, as if he were boasting about gold medals. The mechanic laughed nervously, but fear was visible in his eyes. No one dared argue with the new boss. I sat in the corner, pretending to read a magazine, but inside everything was seething. For the first time, the thought occurred to me, what if I write all this down? What if I collect evidence? I had no idea how far I'd go, but the seed had already been sown. Relationships within the team were deteriorating with each passing day. People started quitting. One guy I started with couldn't stand the constant insults and simply didn't show up for work. He fired another guy demonstratively in front of clients to show everyone. I decide who's needed here and who's not. And so one night, late at night, I stayed in the garage longer than usual. I was busy with some reports when I heard C talking on the phone. His voice was sharp, quick, and every word was jarring. "Yeah, I pulled that scam again. No one even noticed. Those idiots think I'm doing them a favor. Ha!" I froze, pen over paper. It was then, for the first time, that I realized that simply leaving this place would be a betrayal of myself. This man wasn't just making life miserable for the team. He was destroying the business from within. I barely slept that night. I lay there thinking, I'm only 22. What can I do? Will anyone believe me against the boss? But if I remain silent, he'll continue. And one day, it will all come crashing down. And I'll know I could have stopped this, but I didn't. I decided I need to act. The next day, I came to work determined to no longer be a silent bystander. Of course, I knew a frontal assault would be futile. I had neither status